Good evening, class. This is Mr. Hine with 9th grade English. Today we're going to talk about the 5-paragraph essay. Please pay attention. Please take notes. You will need to be up on this for class tomorrow. Let's begin. The 5-paragraph essay. The 5-paragraph essay is a great way to organize your thoughts and your ideas and lay them out in a clear manner for the reader, so the reader knows what point you are trying to make. This is something you may or may not have done in some of your 8th grade classes. I assure you this will be coming up over and over again for the next 4 years and even beyond that for many of you. 5-paragraph essay usually relates to an academic paper. It could be a book report. It could be a scientific hypothesis. It could be a biography. You could be answering a question on something that we read. There's a lot of different ways to go with it, but these are for academic papers intended for an academic audience. So you can go ahead and make that leap, speak technically, assuming that you're not just speaking to the average person. But the 5-paragraph essay is crucial to organize your main points. The essay has a natural beginning, middle, and end that will help you out very much. And it's going to teach you how to write and expand upon a thesis sentence. We're going to dive into thesis sentences, but before that, I want to break down each paragraph for you. So we're going to start with paragraph 1, which is the introduction. A good introduction should have an attention grabber that should pique the reader's attention. This is hopefully something we all know. I need to see background on the topic of the essay. I need you to tell me why this is important. Why am I reading this? Why are you writing this? Why are we here? Once you have established that, we are going to dive into the thesis sentence. I'm going to assume that most of you have not dealt with a thesis sentence before. It is normally the last sentence of an introduction paragraph. It is going to state the main arguments and ideas of the essay. For our purposes, for the 5-paragraph essay, you should have 3 arguments or ideas that you want to spell out. It's really important that you realize that the rest of the essay is going to expand upon and then conclude the contents of your thesis sentence. So this is something that you cannot slack off on. This should be agonized over. This should be written. This should be rewritten. This should be proofread by your peers until you are happy with it. This will make or break your paper. In the event that you've never heard one before, this is very basic, but right before I turn this on, I just mocked up a little general idea of what a thesis sentence is. Since the July 4th weekend is coming up, I've had barbecue on the brain, so let's pretend that I am writing you a essay on why hamburgers are better than hot dogs. Okay, I've done my attention grabber, I've stated the importance of this essay. Now my thesis sentence, which is going to be the last sentence of my paragraph, states, a hamburger is better than a hot dog because it is made from a single animal product. It gives the eater more topping choices, and it can be cooked to the eater's desired temperature. This is very basic, but I stated my argument. A hamburger is better than a hot dog, and I told you why. A hamburger comes from a cow. If anyone knows exactly where a hot dog comes from, please get back to me. I do not know. So that is going to be my strongest argument. We also can say it gives you more toppings, maybe cooked to a temperature. Hopefully that makes it clear that it's 1, 2, and 3 points that all relate to your argument. So now that we have our thesis, we move on to paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, the body. Each body paragraph discusses an idea. It should consist of a topic sentence, evidence and analysis, and a transition conclusion sentence. You have all written paragraphs before. This should not be new information to you. What I really do like about the 5-paragraph essay is it gives you some choices for how to organize your ideas. There's 2 schools of thought. The first one is to hit them with your strongest idea first. For me, I think that it's because a burger comes from a single animal product. That would be point 1. I would probably talk about my weakest point, is that it can be cooked to your desired temperature, whether you like a burger medium rare, medium well, medium. I'll put that second, and then you end with your second strongest point. You always want to sandwich your weakest point in the middle. So you can either start with your strongest or you can finish with your strongest. And then your second strongest argument is going to be the inverse of that. Hopefully that makes sense. Moving along. Paragraph 5 is the conclusion. It's going to state the conclusion of what you learned in the essay. If your thesis included a hypothesis, if it had a theory, if it's something that is or is not defined at the beginning, and then you come to a conclusion through your 3-body paragraphs, I need to hear that conclusion. I need to hear that outcome. And it's very important that anything that was mentioned in your thesis should be mentioned in the conclusion. If I were writing my conclusion for my essay, I need to hear about how burgers come from one animal. I need to hear about all the delicious toppings you can put on said hamburger. And I need to hear about how I can cook it just the way you like it. All that needs to go into the conclusion. That is a general outline of the 5-paragraph essay. We are going to dive much deeper into these in the coming days. Just a few things to consider while this is all soaking in. I need you to stay creative. There are very valid arguments out there that the 5-paragraph essay is too structured and that it constricts creativity. It is meant to be a template to organize your thoughts. Thesis, support, 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 conclusion. Okay, that's what we're looking for here, but you still have to write descriptively. You have to work to engage your reader. If these come out dry and bland and it looks like you're just filling out the blanks of a template, you're not going to get a good grade. More things to consider. Avoid redundancy. You need to have a lot to say about your main ideas. Okay, they're going to be introduced in the introduction. They're going to be expanded upon in the body. They're going to be talked about in the conclusion. If you're having trouble finding more than 2 or 3 things to say about each point, you may need to change your points, or you may need to find a whole new topic altogether. Thesis sentence. Okay, so throughout this PowerPoint, I have underlined thesis sentence for you. I'm doing that because when we start to write these, I need you to underline them for me. I need to see them. I need to know they are intentional. I need to know they're in the right spot and that you're grasping what they are. This is a term you will hear for the rest of your essay writing career. As I stated before, take your time on this. It's the most important sentence of your essay. The quality of it can make or break it. For tomorrow, our first 5-paragraph essays are going to be slightly biographic. More so, you're going to be making an argument for someone as a revolutionary. They can be living or dead. They can be an activist. They can be a politician, a musician, an athlete, any type of person. On the bottom here, on the left, I have Tommy Smith and John Carlos. They were Olympic medalists. You see their hands up in the air. That is an act of civil defiance that related to the civil rights fight. In the middle there, you're looking at Eleanor Roosevelt, widely considered our most politically active first lady in America's history. And on the right, you are looking at Upton St. Clair, who is an author who wrote some scathing books about American practices, most notably, I would say, The Jungle, which looked into some of the practices with the meat plants and production of meat that were pretty unsavory. So I need you to choose someone. I need you to come to class tomorrow with your 3 best favorite examples or reasons for why they qualify as a revolutionary. And we're going to workshop some theses tomorrow together. Thank you for sticking with me. Please take your time in choosing your person. Please come to class with 3 good, passionate ideas about them that you want to talk about, and we will get rolling. Thank you for your time. I'll see you tomorrow.